How's it going, y'all? It's Caravan Dan from Gaming Caravan, and today we're going to do another Before You Buy for one of Allplay's newer games, River Valley Glassworks. Now, this game was given to us for free as Allplay is sponsoring Caravan Convoy, a Florida board game expo being held here in Orlando, Florida on April 26th of 2025. If you see this video, go to the description of this video, go to our Kickstarter if you want to support what we do, and get excited for everything we have to offer in 2025. To determine whether or not you should buy River Valley Glassworks, we're looking at 6 important features. We're going for quality, gameplay, difficulty, uniqueness, fun factor, and price point. At the end, we'll talk about whether or not you should be buying River Valley Glassworks. The asterisk for this video is the fact that this is the deluxe edition with the expansion. And I'll talk about all of that in detail in this video. Now, first of all, we're going to be talking about the quality of the board game itself. Let's start off with the box and the storage components. With the box, every single thing fits inside of here. I'll say that much. The box, as you can tell, is a very, very nice, well-themed holder for the game. If you see on the sides, it might be, we have some shiny words for the deluxe box. The base game does not have the shiny words. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same base box look. The shape is not too crazy. It's not a weird shape or anything like that. It is almost an 8x11, just like a sheet of paper, just slightly smaller. Not too many other games are shaped like this, so it might look a little awkward in your collection, but I guarantee it has a place. If you look at the art of the game itself, you can tell that it's a very familiar style of art. That's because Andrew Beaksley, or Andrew Burt, I forgot his name. That's because the same artist from Flock Together and Everdell made this art on the box and on the mat itself inside the game. So let's look at the components inside the game. Now, if you can't tell, if you look inside of the game, almost everything fits perfectly in the deluxe edition. But if you have the expansion, which the expansion is very small, it's just a deck of cards right here. However, this small detail actually results in the most infinitesimal box lift you can imagine. There's a way for it to be almost unnoticed, but because of this bag, which is a deluxe edition bag, but there's still a bag for the tiles in the base game, you might notice there is a very small amount of box lift that comes with this. Now, it's not a big deal, it's not noticeable, nothing inside the box is getting jumbled up, which is a very important thing to know. You're not scared for the cards getting messed up or wonky, all the stuff is staying inside the bag. It's just a very small, maybe quarter-inch of a box lift, so keep that in mind. It could be the expansion's fault, it could not be. Sometimes there's a lift, sometimes there's barely a lift, sometimes it's like a quarter-inch. One of my favorite parts of this game is that there is no need for an organizer inside of here. Everything fits, everything has its own place, and everything is good. Because it's the deluxe edition, we have some dual tray pan holders for everyone to pan through their river, for all 5 players. We have screen printed minis, which, I mean, they're really cute, I'll say that much. They are very, very cute. They're double-sided, screen printed, multicolored, which look fantastic. And they represent the characters on the boards really, really well. Additionally, you have this tracker right here that I don't think comes in the base game, with a bunch of solo play options and solo play characters on the back of it. All of this is dual layered, which is fantastic. Dual layer is my favorite premium upgrade possible. Anytime there's a dual layer board, I will probably go for it. My second favorite are neoprene mats, which this game also has. The expansion are just some simple cards. The cards are not necessary to enjoy the game any more, any less. It just adds simple additions of complexity, like asymmetric starts, end goals. There's 6 different modules you can mix and match however you want it to. Personally, I don't even find the need for the expansion because I love the base game and I love how simple the game is. But for those who want a more complicated game with some more goals and some more meat to it, so the game doesn't end in about 20 minutes, this might be something to look into for just about like 10 or 12 bucks. We also have some acrylic tiles right here. They're just see-through tiles that come with the wrapping on them. So they're still on here just like if you played Canvas. The clear cards have the same type of wrapping. You just gotta peel them off, it's not a big deal. And this does not come in the base game. They have cardboard things, and this allows you to watch the glass get pushed down the river in a very thematic way. Now, this is the deluxe edition, not the premium backer option, so this does not come with the statue, but we do have the first player token, which is a bear right here. Very cute bear. And one of my favorite things about this game, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of things for me to like personally about this game, is we have glass. These glass, I think they're glass, these are the glass ones, and they're very shiny, they are very satisfying to touch, they feel great in your hands, it feels great to go through the bag. It is just all in all a very, very exciting and enjoyable aesthetic. These are the player boards that every player gets. They have great art. I'm pretty sure it's the same artist from Everdell and Flock Together. They're fantastic. Every single character comes with their own screen printed meeple in the deluxe edition. And honestly, this makes storing the glass a little bit easier than it would be without the dual layer board. And lastly, you have the rule books down here. I keep my rule books for this game at the very bottom because you never need to reference this. This game is so simple and clean, just like Kingdom Hearts, that unless you're playing the solo, I don't know why you need to look at the rules after like 2 plays. And additionally, I don't know if this is in the base game, but the inside of the box is so cute. It's kind of just a map of the realm. You got 2 different maps right here. Just shows the world of River Valley Glassworks with all the anthropomorphic animals. I actually really like the small, subtle touches like that just give the game a little bit more character and feel to it. And last but not least, we got the neoprene mat right here. The neoprene mat is, I'll say this much, nowhere near necessary, but again, I love neoprene mats, so all of this stuff coming for the price point is not bad whatsoever. It just allows you to have a little bit cooler of a table space and a little bit prettier of an experience. There is slightly more of a setup to this and maintenance because since you have to roll up this, there might be a little bump in the paper, but after a few plays, it kind of creased out and you can kind of just iron it out if you need to. It's not a big deal, but it's something to be aware of. There is a need to slide it down, so any crease in this mat, and now it's suddenly more of a nuisance than an accessory. So in all, as you can tell for the deluxe game, and even with the base game, since a lot of it is the same, the quality is high, and the components are very, very pretty. Let's talk about the next section, which is gameplay. So because it's so fast, let's talk about the setup for the game. Step 1, you grab that neoprene mat out if you have it, and you lay it flat out on your table. Next up, grab the river tiles, and right here where you see the river, you see some sections on it, randomize it between being 1 rock and then 2 rocks. As you can see on the acrylic tiles, they have rock symbols to show how many glass goes on that tile whenever it gets replenished. So you go 1, 2, 1, 2, or 2, 1, 2, 1, depending on how you want to do it. Once you have all 6 on the board, go ahead and have everyone choose a character. I love playing Cornelius. My wife loves playing Hoppington. Cornelius is the turtle. His name is Cornelius Shellworth, but it's much funnier just to say Cornelius. Once you choose a character, hand out the appropriate meeples, if you have them, and the dual-layered counting tracker for your inventory slot. Make sure you put them on the right person, or anthropomorphic animal, and go ahead and grab that anthropomorphic meeple and shove it in 0, on number 0 of that double-layered tracker. Make sure to give everyone a dual-layered pan if you have them, and last but not least, fill up the lake and the river tiles. All you do is you grab the bag. If you have 5 players, make sure to shuffle in the black glass in there to add that 9th color, and then fill 5 in the lake, and then fill 1 glass for every rock on the river. For the river tiles that have 1 rock, you just put in 1 glass, 2 rocks, 2 glass. Make sure not to look, make it as random as possible. Make sure everyone starts off with 3 glass before you start the game. And now you're fully ready to play River Valley Glassworks. Don't forget to choose a starting player and hand them the first player token. It does matter. Alright, on your turn, all you do is put 1 of your glass from your pan and put it on the river tile. Now, the shape of the glass matters when you place it, and the color of the glass matters when you pick it up. When you place it, this is a diamond shape, so I have to find the diamond river tile, place it on there, and I can grab the glass from any adjacent river tiles. Since it's on the end, I can only pick up this 1 glass. When you get a new colored glass, you make a new column in your Glassworks. All future shapes of that color will also go up that column. If you get too many, the rest will be put inside of your overflow for -3 points per piece. Every time you pick up glass and add it to your Glassworks, you'll increase your meeple by as many glasses you picked up. Since I only picked up 1 piece, Cornelius will only go to 1. Next up, the next player will do the same thing. But ironically enough, there are 2 of the same shape. If you ever have 2 of the same shape in your pan, you're able to put it wherever you want on any river tile and collect any adjacent glass. So let's say Hoppington wants to put it on the triangle with 2 circles. They then collect all the glass from an adjacent river tile and place it in any order they'd like. The other action you're able to do on your turn instead of placing is pick up 4 tiles exactly from the lake. Let's say I pick up 4 tiles right now. You're only able to have 5 max inside of your pan, which means 1 of them has to go into my overflow for -3 points. Now that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's worth it. It's all about your situation. Then you'll immediately refill the river. And don't forget, anytime you pick up a piece from the river tile, you will always put the river tile in the back, move everything else forward, and replace based on the amount of rocks on that tile. Now it should slide down, but again, if you have any issues with your neoprene mat, it will not be as smooth, which is something you to consider if you're getting the neoprene mat. The game ends when 1 player gets 17 glass in their Glassworks. Once that happens, you will finish the current round and then take 1 final turn. Also, when someone announces they have 17 glass in their Glassworks, everyone will draw up to 3 glass in their pan if they have less than 3. The scoring works by having filled rows and filled columns. Let's fill it up a little bit just to show you what scoring would look like for these two players. So the way scoring works is first, you count your rows at the bottom, or points you get for fully complete rows with no gaps going from left to right. So the first row, nothing is in the leftmost column, so no points. Second row, same thing. Even though there's one filled up all the way to the right, since there's a gap between the left to the right, you do not get any points for that row. Next up, Cornelius has 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row consecutively, so he'll get 7 points for this row. Hoppington has none. Next up, Hoppington has 1 with a gap before any other one, so he'll only score 1 over there, while Cornelius will score another 7. Lastly, Hoppington has the entire bottom row filled, so that's 22 points, which you can tell by the bottom again. Cornelius only has 16 points from that because he does not have the final tile filled up. Next up, you will score your 2 tallest columns. So for both of these, Cornelius will get 8 points for his tallest column. Hoppington will get 12 points for his highest column. However, there's a tie for their second biggest column. There's ever a tie for your biggest column, or one of your 2 biggest columns. You will always take the column worth the least amount of points, which is always the one on the leftmost side of your board. So instead of scoring 10 points for white, Hoppington will score 2 points for green. And likewise, instead of scoring 12 points for orange, Cornelius will score 3 points for purple. That is everything to know about River Valley Glassworks. So there you go. That's the gameplay of River Glass Valley Works. There you go. That's the gameplay for River Valley Glassworks. As you can tell, it's very low player interaction, almost the same interaction level as Quilts of Calico or Calico, where essentially the only thing you have in common is what exactly you want to take and what you'll be able to take. If you're playing in 2 or 3 players, you're able to plan off your turn, but if you're playing in 5-player accounts, it probably will change by the time it gets to you, so you're going to have to wait until the next person in front of you to decide what you really want to do. However, since the actions are so easy and it's such a low-stakes game, you're not going to spend too much time on your turn. Analysis process is almost non-existent in this game. And as you can tell, it's so easy to teach, which means it's so easy to learn. You can learn it out of the rulebook like me. I'm not great at reading rulebooks, but this one took 15 minutes of reading. Another 10 minutes of just double checking to make sure it was as easy as I thought. But this is a very, very good intro game. You could play with just about anyone. You don't have to have experience knowing the game. The hardest part of this game is scoring. So basically, as long as one person knows how to score, the whole table's fine. So it's an easy learn, an easy teach, and an easy rulebook, and an easy play. Let's talk about the uniqueness of the game. Anthropomorphic animals is actually a very, very common trope we have in board gaming. However, panning for glass in the river is a very, very unique concept I don't see in any board game, almost any media whatsoever. So although gaining resources is very simple, you just pick up 4 from a pile, the spending of resources is something I very much enjoyed. If we're talking about the fun factor, this game is very fun and very satisfying. No matter if you win or lose, you have a very solitaire feel, where it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing, the only thing that matters is they might end the game. But you're having fun, you're placing it, you're feeling satisfied as long as you're playing the game and paying attention to it. There's almost no negative emotions possible in this game. Even if someone takes a pile from you, it's like, you took my pile, and you move on. It's not something you stay on and you focus on for 3 days later, and it's even a joking grudge. It's something so minor, it won't affect you in 5 minutes. Because the game is so easy to get into and so easy to learn, most people play it twice back to back, just so it's like, now I understand how scoring works, let's go into it. So the replayability, you'll play at least twice if you get this game immediately. And almost every friend you play with, as long as they play quickly, you'll play this game twice almost every single time you pull it out, just because it's so fun and you already have it out and it's not long whatsoever. The likelihood of getting it off your shelf is completely dependent on what your friend group plays specifically. I have games that are quick and non-committal, specifically for people who are new to board gaming and might get overwhelmed. So we would play it, and we're going to play it very often, and I'm very glad that Allplay sent me a copy. Thanks again, Allplay. And if you get the expansion with the modules, you have 6 different modules, and you can combine them in a variety of different ways. One of the modules is strictly solo, so don't worry about that. But the other 5 modules, you can combine them. You can play with all 5 at once. Only these 2, only this one. So you can scale it however you want to provide various different experiences for full different types of replayability. The base game is $40. The deluxe edition $70, which is what I have. The expansion is $12, and the glass tiles that I have are $26. You won't ever need everything that comes in the deluxe, but it's nice having the dual layered boards for sure, and I do like the bag it comes with. I just saw the bag in the base game. It's not bad by any means, but it doesn't stand up by itself. I didn't know that. This bag is definitely bigger and makes the box a little bit harder to close, but it's overall worth it in my opinion. So now we get down to whether or not you should buy this game. You should definitely buy this game if you like games that are non-committal, 20, 30-minute games, very simple, family friendly, good, unique themes, anthropomorphic. The animals, even though they're not really used in the game very much, are very cute, very nice to look at. It's fun saying Cornelius and Hoppington, Cornelius Shellsworth, Hoppington, I don't know what it is, and all the other animals in the game like Sheila. However, if you're looking for a game with a lot more meat to it, or any meat whatsoever, I would say stay away from this game. This game is an all-play game. All-play has a lot of games that are very basic goals. You don't have anything too convoluted or complex. You really have almost one course of action of going there. Although it's not a stale game whatsoever. That one course of action doesn't have to be bland. It's definitely one train of thought potentially, but although the game changes in how it's constructed, it could really completely depend on where you are, who's in front of you, who you're playing with, what comes out of the bag, that sort of thing. So if you like simple and your friend groups like simple and you want a game that plays up to 5 players, I would say go for it. It's only 40 bucks. Potentially demo it first if you want, but most people, I haven't seen a single person not fully enjoy the experience they had, even if it was only one time. But don't go into if you want a game that's heavier, that requires a lot of thought and a lot of processing for it. This game is something you could play in the middle, kind of like a palate cleanser board game that you hear so much about, where it's, I just played something super heavy. Let's do something light, but not egregiously light like Mountain Goats. And that is the Before You Buy River Valley Glassworks. Thank you All Play again for getting us this game and sponsoring Caravan Convoy. If you want to be part of Florida's Board Game Expo, go to the description of this video and go to the Kickstarter. And even if you just want some extra stuff and some cool random board games from our shop we have right here, go to that Kickstarter or go to our website in the description below. All in all, thank you for being part of Gaming Caravan. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. What game would you like me to do before you buy it next of? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. We have a few on the deck for the convention sponsors, but after that, we're pretty free. So that's everything. Thanks for watching. God bless. Have a great day, and I hope to see you guys at the table soon.